This is really weird. This is really weird. I did a super long video. You deleted it again. It always does this to me. Always does this to me. Guys, please. So this is really bizarre. I'm actually filming 2 videos talking about my Meares-Irlen syndrome, and I think it's a genetic abnormality that's intentional in order to help construct the natural functionings of different types of sensation within the body, the genetic type of the individual who has Meares-Irlen syndrome, because it definitely has a big part in manipulating overall interaction with their external world, what they can do, and what they can't do, how they can participate with others, what jobs are okay, and where they spend much of their time. So I know as a kid, I'm going to see it here, not even knowing that it was anything wrong until 3rd grade, in which case, like, my Ireland syndrome was way worse than any of my vision problems. I would wake up in the morning for school, and when the light would come on in my room, I was fine if my mom would just leave the light out. But she would be like, "Oh, everybody hates you," and she would turn on the light, and it would instantly look obnoxious. And my eyes would hurt. They would always water when I woke up, and I would kind of like squint and like grind my teeth and just try and like curl up away from the intensity of the light that was causing all these like physical symptoms that I didn't even know where it was coming from. But I did, but it's something that I lived with for so long that you just cope with it. So I would dread opening the door every day, and like I would just pray that it was still dark out, because the sun walking to school, I would just have to find somewhere in my field of vision that I could just stare at and like hope that I have the least amount of light coming into my eye. And I was blinded. I remember a lot of time people, and still say, people go, "Look at that." And I can't look at that. It's too bright out. And I didn't think anything of it, except for I'm the only person who can't see all these things that other people are pointing out. And I'll point out things, like really detailed things, or like variations in color and stuff like that, or even flavor, or like there's a ton of sensate activities that like I participate in, I'll point out to other people, and it just doesn't affect them in the same way. So that's why I think it definitely had a pretty heavy influence on my development, especially with like my, you call it, I'm an INTP, introverted thinking, where I have objects like up close and personal in order to understand them. If like this object, like I can't see it unless it's within a certain distance from my face, I have to look at it from all angles to make sense of it. As I'm looking at it from one angle to another angle, it'll become like impossible to see. I never understood how anyone had glass display cases, because I have some, and I don't get the point of them, and I never have, is because I can't actually see inside the glass because there's always so much glare from light. So it's extreme light sensitivity that like at one point I was reading one book a day when I was a child, pretty much since I learned to read, and I would just cry and cry and cry. The words would move on the page, they would wave, they would double up, they would spin around, letters would be swapping, and I would have to memorize the visual image of like the words as I was looking at the letters individually, reassemble in my brain, go over it a couple of times to make sure it doesn't have errors, and then read that line out loud in my head. And that's why it made it really difficult to read in front of other people. I actually got so good at this that I became a very quick reader as I was reading like adult books all the time. But I was really frustrated because people, there were a lot of more advanced books that I wanted to read that I absolutely couldn't, because if the font was too small, it would make the symptoms much, much worse. And watching the videos of the children and their performance, like looking at that, it's a shocking experience, because it's just like, wow, that's me. I actually got hit in 3rd grade because my teacher thought I was mocking her by saying I couldn't see something when I was like literally inches away from it. It was on the whiteboard. It was way too bright, and I was like really close to it, and she got so frustrated that she hit me, and she ended up taking a leave. My parents were like, "Suck it up, we got hit all the time." I didn't really care. I was just like, "Oh, I got hit. I have a fun story to tell my friends. Ooh, look at the red mark on my hand." So yeah, I didn't really care that she hit me. I was shocked. Yeah, she got so frustrated and just really low marks on spelling tests because like not only could I not like write on the lines properly, the words like as I was writing them down, they'd be like moving around the page and stuff. So it's just like my life has been like a constant acid trip, and it is really similar to doing like I've noticed like I've learned to control a lot of the aspects of my Meares-Irlen syndrome just with like different coping mechanisms. And like when I was younger, I mean, like God, like my symptoms, like in a lot of cases, are really reminiscent of like doing like a small, moderate dose of hallucinogens. So, I don't know what to say about that. They did talk about Nikola Tesla, like hallucinating and then the guy who created the double helix actually did acid. So your brain acts like you have acid in it. When you don't, then it's a good thing. And if it doesn't have acid in it, take some. Subscribe and shit. Be my friend.